So, with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast with another episode of Seth Godin's The Icarus Deception. I really am looking forward to it, even though it might be the last episode that we are recording or that I'm recording. But anyway, we'll see after the intro, as always. And it is not working. That's good. But yeah, we'll actually go straight into the episode. We'll go straight into the thing, into the reading part, into whatever it is all about. Because I don't know, because as you see, I haven't gone through it beforehand. I do not want to spoil myself. No, I haven't had any time. So we're gonna do it right now. Fine, everything is good to go. Entrepreneurs often do this when they raise money from venture capitalists. The VCs end up on the board. They are the ones, and we've actually already went through it, but it is something that's important. Therefore, I feel like it also makes sense to go through it again and again and again. Entrepreneurs often do this when they raise money from venture capitalists. The VCs end up on the board. They are the ones who demand quarterly results and who score spreadsheets and corporate strategy decks and then give their permission. Painters do this when they sign with a gallery instead of selling their work directly to the public, and musicians do it when they give away all their rights to a record label. They trade off that you will give up the freedom to decide what sort of art you're going to make. Yes, this is the trade-off that these people are making, but as I said yesterday as well, I'm not quite sure if every record label is gonna do that or if every record label is quote-unquote that bad. Because I wouldn't necessarily say so. I would say that there's of course also record labels that really do think that it makes sense to do something for the people, which is probably also the thing that you want to do as an artist, doing something for the people and or doing something that you like to do. But in the end, it is just always a good thing to do things for the people that you're trying to serve, that you're trying to do something for. And of course, there's going to be some bosses and there's going to be some people that just want to have something done. And it should be done in their way, and it should be done so that they like it. Whether the audience in the end likes it or not doesn't really matter then, which is a really big problem, I would say, because it doesn't make any fucking sense, if you're doing so. And let's move ahead. People succeed with a breakthrough or the creation of connection, then work hard to ensure that they never have to do it again. They turn one original restaurant into a chain of 100. They turn one original restaurant into a chain of 100 restaurants, ensuring that the insight and innovation will never have to be repeated. It actually sounds pretty negative, but I think it is just how we're doing it. Our fear of having to do it again means that we sign up for sequels, structure, and systems, instead of aggressively pursuing the freedom to succeed or fail with the next thing. Yes. So yeah, we really put ourselves into a specific spot, but I think we all have to decide whether we want to be in such a spot or not, because I do really assume, and I do also really think and believe that there's going to be some people that really want to be in this position and really want to do this and really want to just have one business, and they're doing this for the whole lifelong and they're really fine with it. This also I think not a bad thing. Like, we all should really be doing the things that we like to do. It might not be the optimal way, it might not be the best way, it might not be like whatever way, but if it is the way that you are doing it and you're fine with doing it, then it should be the way you're pursuing, because it works for you, and if it works for somebody else or not just really does not matter. Get as many people as possible into one room and then go somewhere else. Plot twist, yes. This really reminds me of something that's not really good. Should I? No, I'm not gonna cover it. Organize the talented and connect the disconnected, because I think this is what these people want to do, I guess. Unless, okay, of course, there's also gonna be some talented people that do not want to be just organized and stuff, because they think they're good at it themselves, and therefore they think like, fuck you, I don't care. I don't care if you wanna do something or whatnot and stuff. Yves Klein said, "My paintings are only the ashes of my art." For him, the creation of the work was the art, and the canvas or the photo of the fake newspaper was merely the souvenir. So the process is what it is all about, which is, I think, a really great thing if you think about it. I mean, if you're just really in such a spot, if you really think about things in that way, then you really have a good life, I guess, because you just have to pursue something and just have to do something in this specific field, or which has something to do with this and that and whatnot, and then you're basically happy, which is a good thing, I would assume, I think. I don't know. Art isn't merely what Pollock put on the canvas. In some ways, the canvas is just the ashes of his art. Yes, it is kind of the case, you know? It is kind of the case. I think it is more about just the thinking process and in terms of like what is behind the picture most often. Because of course, I mean, like we all can paint a picture. But I think true art, which is not having any purpose, by the way, you know, or it just shouldn't actually kind of have, they're just saying something and they're just also trying to say something. And if they succeed at communicating that, if they succeed at doing that, then I think it is quote unquote successful art, or art that is successful. Yeah, obviously. But it's not as easy as it might seem to be. It is actually quite hard work as it is actually with writing. You know, I've never ever thought that writing a book, writing something is that of a difficult thing. But since I've started and I've actually also had some days and multiple days where I didn't do anything for it, it's not that easy. It really is not. And I can really understand now people being like, wow, you know, this person wrote a book and whatnot and stuff and kind of whatever. It is hard work and it is work. And especially if you really want to do it in a way that is then also like, quote unquote, liked, or that just then has a purpose quite. Not everyone's gonna like it, you know, really not everyone. This is why art is rarely for the masses. But that's fine, because the masses matter less than they ever did before. The masses are interested in what's popular, and the weird, the ones who get the joke, have more influence than ever in bringing ideas to them. And I think this is a really important point, and I actually have to catch on that. If we think about it, we, with the internet, do have the ability to do something for a relatively small amount of people. I mean, of course, we all think like, okay, you know, we gotta have to do something for our millions of followers, and we have to have millions of followers, and we just have to do this and have to do that. But this is actually not really the case, because we can do something which is basically based on an idea by Kevin Kelly and 1,000 fans, or 1,000 true fans. And a true fan, just to define that, is a person that would actually do everything. If you're just an artist and you're actually also having your own music shows or music events and events in general, and you're having a book and you're having CDs and whatnot, a true fan would buy everything. And we actually only need 1,000 true fans. You know, it is actually basically something that I've been talking about just numerous times before, but I think it is a pretty interesting concept and a pretty interesting idea. The point is, you only need 1,000 of them, because they're gonna buy anything that you're doing anyway, you know? Because they are just really in love with you or something. Which means that if you just get them to, I don't know, let's say you just get them to pay $100 every single year for you, and then when we do the math, 1,000 times 100, it's enough. It really is enough. So we can live with that basically. So we do not really actually need that many people to just sustain our lives. We really don't. And this is also what he's talking about. You just have to do something for 1,000 people, for 100 people, for 50 people, and you should basically also start with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, and so on until you actually can get to a range of people and just to an amount of people where you can also sustain your life and yourself and stuff. But the point is, which is something that he also pointed out by saying, the ones who get the joke have more influence than ever in bringing ideas to them, to the masses, because once just the weird people and the quote-unquote not normal people decide to follow your stuff and discover your stuff and consume your stuff, other people are gonna come. These people are maybe not gonna be the true fans, they're just gonna be fans, or they're just gonna like your art and your stuff that you're doing. But in the first beginning, you're gonna have these early adopters. You're gonna have these people that really are truly interested in the shit you're doing, and they are important. You know, also for the whole process of getting it to the masses. If this is something that you want to do, even though it is not necessarily what you have to do quite. I do not want to say should do, because it just, I think basically really comes up to what you think. And the next one is pretty amazing, and the next one actually makes me smile. Complaining is stupid, either act or forget, by Stefan Sagmeister. Stefan Sagmeister, or Stefan Sagmeister, however you're actually going to pronounce it in English, is an Austrian graphic designer, so actually 2 times something for me, just because I'm attending, as you might know, a graphic design school, and having an Austrian graphic designer who's actually really famous and also really good and really popular and really whatnot, well, popular not that much actually, but he's a really famous graphic designer, and in the graphic design world, he is definitely known as good and just known. But I would actually also say so. Complaining is indeed stupid, and I do think that he also had to do quite a lot of things to get into the position he is in at this point in time. Like, he's working and living in New York, he's just having a lot of clients, I think, and he's probably making quite some money, and he's also fine, I guess. Yes, change your tactics and often. Agility pays, but no, don't give up your strategy or making art, or your strategy of making art. Is it like the strategy that you're gonna do art, or is it like how you're gonna do your art? But we should definitely change out the tactics that lead to our strategy, I guess, you know? I mean, like, of course, I could say, like, my strategy is bringing something good to the people, you know? Another tactic might actually be standing here and doing something in a different way, because I am having new ranges of motion. I can do this, I can actually squat down there. Even though you just barely can see me, I'm still talking to you. I have new possibilities, quite. And it is basically, maybe, if you want to say so, a new tactic, which is good, I guess, because doing something over and over again, first of all, is, if it's not working, then it is not going to work, probably, after quite some time. And I think I've proven that what I've been doing before is not quite working, you know? I've been doing it for numerous hours, for numerous minutes, and for some period of time, I'd say, and it didn't work out. So maybe I have to do something different. Maybe I actually have to do something completely different. Maybe the next episode is going to be something completely different. I don't actually know. I'm going to see. But yes, you shouldn't change your strategy, but you should merely change your tactics, merely, quote unquote. Isn't it interesting that we never say, I'm a broken arm, or I'm cancer? This is not funny, but the other one was funny. We understand that these are things that happen to us. They're not who we are. And yet we say, I'm afraid and I'm a failure. Of course, afraid isn't who we are. Afraid is something that happened to us. You know, we happen to be afraid. And it is actually a really important thing. First of all, marketing wise, if you get people to being like, okay, I am this, I'm a Adidas ambassador. I'm a person that wears Adidas, which is something that really indicates that this is his or her identity. This is a huge thing because, for example, saying I'm a smoker is something different than I'm a person who smokes or who likes to smoke. Just means that you just like to smoke, but the other one is definitely like you are a smoker. This is your identity. This is who you are as a person, which makes it a little bit more like difficult, you know, to then just change it. I just got an email because, you know, I had to read it then. It makes it a little bit more difficult to change yourself then if you identify yourself with something, which is also basically a quote-unquote strategy or tactic to change habits, you know, just not identifying with them or just not having it as your identity. I'm a smoker. It's not really good to just change the whole fact that you're smoking and or just your habit of smoking. To reverse this cause, you are, so think. Yeah, classic, I'd say. A problem is a change for you to do your best, Duke Ellington. Yeah, we actually can just get it done. I actually do want to read the email just really quickly. Really quickly. Just want to say, see some back and forth. The lizard's tactics push you to fall in love with the impossible project, with the impossible dream, with the worthy but unlimitedly doomed mission. After all, if your quest is one that can't possibly be achieved, how can anyone blame you for not achieving it? Good idea. Infinite games are played for the privilege of playing. The purpose of an infinite game is to allow the other players to play better. The goal of your next move is to encourage your fellow game players to make their next moves even better. German word, Funktionslust. It describes the love of doing something merely for the sake of doing it, not simply because it's likely to work, not because it is his job, but because he can or she can. I've actually never heard it. Funktionslust. I do wonder what, because I would actually translate it in the following way. Quite the willingness to do things, you know? I mean, something functions, Funktion functions, and lust is like, anyway. Flow, oh no, it's something else, but yeah, anyway. he also described it so. Artists play. They also work. They are not only playing. We don't analyze our return on investment or seek shortcuts. We are playing, not working, and the long way is often the best way to go to where we are going, because sometimes we are not going anywhere. We don't analyze our return on investment or seek shortcuts. I think this is a really important just point to point out. We don't analyze our return on investment. As an artist, you're just going to pursue something. As he also says, that you don't actually know if it is going to work. And you just put so much money into it, and you just put your passion into it, or you put so much money into it because it is your passion, because you like to do it, or you just want to do it, or you want to see whether it is working or not. And you're not really thinking like, well, should I really be doing this right now? It's costing me a lot of money, but it's just my art. It is what I do. Of course, I think in the long run, you should somewhat calculate things. In terms of like, if you're a painter, you should also calculate how much paint you have to have in a month and how much money you therefore have to earn in a specific amount of time, so that you're not going to get bankrupt. It wouldn't be that nice, but I understand what he's referring to, and I understand what he's talking about, and I think it is actually the truth. You will never be able to contribute enough resources to the artist. Yeah, quite. Artists never significantly reassure that they have chosen a worthy path and that you have their back. Push the artist to be more committed and not less. Push for more focus and edge and weirdness and not less. The artist doesn't need to be given an out to avoid making art. The artist doesn't need reminders about reality or lawyers or regulations or even the rules of physics. The artist merely needs to be encouraged and cajoled and supported to make better art. Support, I think, is a really important thing for everyone that's trying to do something. The question now is if you should get yourself support by other people, if this is something that you need, if this is something that you need to make better art. I don't know. I think it is just definitely different for everyone else or for everyone, because we all are individuals and we all like different things and we all do different things and we all do things in a different way, even though we're just already doing different things. If it happens to be like the same thing, we're just really not doing it in the same way. And this is actually the end of this summary, and I've really, 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 really enjoyed it. I really did. Because he's talking about so many things, so many great things, and so many important things that I really am happy to cover or have covered, because I think it is important. I think it is important to share these words and these thoughts with the world and with people, because maybe you feel like right now, actually this makes sense and that makes sense, and maybe it changes something, and this is actually what I'm hoping for. Like, when I'm seeing something, I really want to share it, and when I just have a thought in my mind, I really want to do it. And this actually also, which is something that Seth Godin said in a video, I guess, or something, it seems to be the case, or it seems to be the thing that artists are doing. If they just see something, if they notice that they can do something, or if they are doing something, they want to push it out right now. They want to publish it right now. They're not going to do it like, well, you know what, I'm going to publish it the next year. My new, great and amazing idea. They're not doing that. They're doing it right now. Just before, I've actually made a post because it was funny and it is kind of a reference to a buddy of mine. And I've just posted it right now because I wanted to see the reaction as fast as I can. Therefore I thought, let's do it right now. But yeah, I think this is it. I think this is it with the episode. Even though I hope this is working. And no, of course, it is not working. But we have to cover the question of today once again, very late in the episode. I should actually do it like in the middle of it. I think in the middle would actually be quite a nice thing. I do, by the way, wonder because my feet hurt a little bit. Actually, this is actually really fine. This is really nice. It's nice. It's not fine. I'm basically standing on top of my yoga mat that I'm normally using for working out. I think it is actually pretty great to have like some soft floor thingy thing, whatever, also for working out, even if you're just doing, I don't know, push-ups or something else. I think it is a good thing and important, and especially if you just, and there's also a massaging ball, and I actually wonder how long I have to wait for it to just be working, but I kind of just have to wait anyway, because if it's there. The question of today is, Are you an artist? Or do you want to be an artist? This is a question, you know? Ask yourself the question. Maybe you write it down in the comments, your answer. Maybe you write it to a buddy. Maybe you share it with a buddy or with a friend or with your mother, with your father, with your siblings, with whomever. But I want you to just ask yourself this question because I think it could really benefit your life and benefit whatever you're just willing to do. But yeah, I think that this is going to be the end of the episode. I think this is it. I hope that you've liked it. I hope that you just also like the style, the new one, like standing here and talking about something and doing whatever. I don't know if it is making it better, but I hope. So I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and therefore just being a nice person is also going to lead you to just being remembered as one. Quite. 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which would be kind of the ideal thing, but purpose is also something that's really, really, really fucking important. But yeah, gonna see you the next time. Thank you very much for the just time and attention and the love and everything else. I really appreciate it, and I really hope that you're also fine and your family is fine in these tough times, you know? I'll see you. Stay optimistic, stay good, stay nice, stay kind.